Hello everybody, my name is Christian and welcome back to Christian's Weather and Forecasting. Right now we're going to be diving into kind of a little bit of a temperature change between the United States as well as some of the tropical development and more of the severe weather to come. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. And so through the next couple of videos, maybe even if you'll fully future on, we will be using an app called Pivotal Weather. This is a kind of just a system to help you kind of show things around the upper atmosphere. And so we're going to go ahead and use it right here. As you can see over here on the East Coast, we have seen a lot more above average temperatures. Now something cool is that where over down here is where that tropical storm hit. I did forget the name, I do apologize. Okay, so I did find the name, if you can see it on there. This is Radar Omega on my phone. It is Tropical Storm Norma. But the remnants of Tropical Storm Norma it's already impacted Mexico. That's what this little kind of darker blue blob is. It's more moisture and cold air as well. Now, if we go up here over towards the California area, that is a big, as well, another big blob of that moisture and that cold air, and that's going to shoot over into the more central eastern US. And as you can see up here in Canada's northern, so there's going to be a lot more of that cold air up here that may have the possibility to shift down as well. And as we move off within the next couple of days, this is going to be Friday. This Friday, you can still see that this whole boundary of warmer air is over here to the East Coast, and more of this boundary of colder air is to the West Coast. And this little area right here is where we're going to start seeing more severe thunderstorms, where those two are kind of just clumping together and hitting each other. Which for the next little bit, even the first one that we saw, it's doing that same kind of thing. For day one, we have a general thunderstorm risk stretching through Texas, New Mexico, as well as a marginal through Texas. And up here towards the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, we have a marginal risk. That tornado potential down here is going to be at 2%. Wind is going to be less than 5. Hail is going to be 5% up here. There are some chasers that is going to be chasing up here. And Radar Omega is actually predicting almost 2.5 inches of hail already, and this event just up north just began. Day 2 is looking more like that setup that we were just talking about. Over here towards the northern the northern portion, we have a marginal risk. Down here towards that southern portion, we have a marginal risk. And through the whole central plains where those borders are going to be colliding, we have a general thunderstorm risk. And it's going to be the same with that for day 3. It's going to be that same kind of general border. Not much of a risk up north anymore, but that Texas risk is going to be there as well with that 5% probability of severe weather. Now, eventually, we will be able to see this red ridge right here. It will be able to break, and more of this cold air is going to be able to move through. It's going to start moving kind of more south and to the southeast, as well as there will be another blob forming up here that will be able to move across to the north. That will actually bring portions of snow up here towards the northern states, as well as over here towards the New England states. And if we're moving through again a little more further on, this is what I'm talking about, that extra blob over here, as well as that blob up north. And that blob up north is going to push all the way over and even into more of the eastern part of Canada and the northern states. Eventually, again, this is more of a predictive point at this point. This is going to be for Halloween. The bridge has been broken, and that more than warmer temperature air is going to be moving out of the U.S. and off to the East Coast. That big blob of extremely cold air and moisture is going to be moving off, as well as down here there's going to be more blobs forming. And it's going to be the same as that heat, except it's going to be cold air and moisture, and it's going to continue off to the east. And then right here, this is going to be for November the 1st. You can see that whole pattern has just absolutely changed. Now we have the extremely cold air off to the east, the more warmer than average temperatures off to the west. And if we move it even further, we can see how that snow probability can be impacted as well. For the 2nd of November, and you can see that a little bit more warmer than air, that moisture, and then over here we have that a lot colder air, and you can see as it's kind of impacting more of this, which we will get into further on a little bit better when we actually see the possibility for that snow to actually pop up. Right now, though, as we're moving back to what we saw a few minutes ago, there is actually a cold ridge forming up here right now, and this can also impact some of these states that are up here, which the National Weather Service can confer This is combined to day 1 and day 2 and day 3. This is going to be the snow probability for all 3 of these days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's going to be kind of like this for the next couple of days, even moving past this risk. We have a possibility of 4 inches in some areas, as well as a little bit more than 3, 2, and 1 inches in some of these more other places. Let's go ahead and dive right into this part. This is day 1. We can already see that ridge that we were talking about a few minutes ago today, it's starting up in Canada, which we saw at the beginning of the video, and it's through the next couple of days, it's going to start moving down towards these states that we've seen. Like here's day 2, for example. Over here in the Seattle area, there's going to be some snow, as well over here in the Montana area, down into Idaho, and again, even up here, more into the Canada area, there will be some snow probabilities there. And as I was having to re-add the warnings and stuff, I don't know why they were turned off, we have winter weather advisories in effect. And again, this is going to go all the way over to the winter storm watch over here in Seattle, and it's going to stretch all the way over here into North Dakota, the winter storm watch and the winter weather advisories, and all the way down here into some portions of Wyoming and Idaho. I had to pause the video because I forgot what state this was. Now, let's go ahead and dive into a little bit more of the severe weather. We can go ahead and cancel the snow probabilities and whatnot out. We'll leave the warnings up. Over here towards the Wisconsin area, there is going to be some of that severe weather, which we saw on the day 1 probability. This is going to be through the Wisconsin area. Storm Chaser Vince is already out in the field. You can go ahead and find him on his YouTube channel. But there is already severe thunderstorm warnings and whatnot out. There are predicting some bigger sized hail, which I mentioned earlier in the video. And again, it's going to be through more of this area of the area of Wisconsin. So again, places like Manitowoc, even down into some portions of Milwaukee, just keep an eye out. It shouldn't be too crazy of an event, but we will still monitor to make sure that things don't go sideways, which it most likely won't. Down here in Texas too, there's supposed to be some things. It's not started yet. I don't know how long that's supposed to last. It should start within the next couple of hours, and it shouldn't be too strong, so I'm not going to go deep into it. Let's move over to the tropics now. A lot is going on in Mexico, so we're going to get right into them. The remnants of Norma, which is going to be creating that moisture air moving towards the U.S., has just made land over here in La Paz, and is now making land again as post-tropical remnants towards the actual inland Mexico. And we have another tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Otis, and it is expected to hit the more southern part of Mexico, down here towards the Oaxaca area. I cannot pronounce their names. Over here towards Puerto Cabas, we have a 80% tropical development chance. So north of San Jose, Mantuga, there is a possibility within the next 2 days, pretty high probability for there to be tropical development there. Now this is the one that's going to be most interesting. There is going to be a ridge coming out of the United States within the next couple of days, and the reason that the National Weather Service is forecasting this is that the possible remnants of Tammy could be thrown at the United States. It is currently a hurricane, Hurricane Tammy, and it is not expected to grow past a hurricane category 1, although you know things always change with radar Omega. But if this thing doesn't get thrown out by that ridge and back out to sea, this can get caught under that bridge and can potentially go straight into the U.S. This is just a prediction. It is possible for this to happen. It is possible for it to get slung north. It is possible for it to get slung south. But we will continue to monitor that as time moves forward. Besides that, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.